Recording. Yay! So welcome guys joining us live, and to everybody joining us on the replay, a very happy Sunday. Do comment below with hashtag replay, because I just love seeing who was able to join us later on today. So today it's all about bringing it all together. We've plowed through so much all week, and I wanted to leave space to answer your questions. I wanted this to be a great summary of the week's training and to see what else you need help with, because I've got lots and lots of space for your questions. So I hope everyone's brought their questions to the party. So this is designed to be a session really to help. I want to give you, as I said, as much support and help as I possibly can. Okay, reminders, bit of housekeeping. All the videos will go away at 8 p.m. UK time tomorrow, which is Monday, the 4th of October. You've been warned so many times, but it never fails to amaze me. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's a shame. So, final reminder on that. Also, the Expert Academy Kickstarter. Many congratulations to everyone who's jumping in. That's so cool. The price goes up Monday, 8 p.m. UK time. So if you'd like to take part, and I'd absolutely love you to, let me know. Let me know if you want to join. Either book yourself a space or simply arrange to have a quick chat with me. I'm just going to share a link to book a call to chat, and I can answer your questions, because you probably end up still joining. If you're thinking about it, you'll probably end up still joining. You'll just end up paying more, which seems crazy. Like you could just join us and not pay the second price. So you may as well get the retreat special price, I'm thinking. Makes sense to me. And have you ever done that? I know I have, where you meant to book something, you're like going to a show or something, and you didn't get it in time, and then you're paying like late entry fees. I've done it time and time again. So irritating. So this is, link to book a call. Kickstarter. Okay, so housekeeping out of the way, let's get cracking then. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this session because it's really fun to summarize all, bring it all together. And how's everyone feeling? Like, anything exciting been happening for you guys this week? I've seen some cool things in the group. I think it was Kim who messaged that she's now got 7 horses booked for next week, and it's only, well, I think she said this yesterday, so it was only Saturday. I mean, that's so cool. Love to hear your biggest takeaway. So message them to me, stick them in the group, stick them in the chat. I really can't wait to hear what you've had happen this week and what your biggest takeaways have been. The old limiting beliefs that people have dug up and started to release is just incredible. And this is really where the magic happens. It really is. When you work on yourself, as well as your business, when you take action, cool stuff happens. It really does. I really hope you're feeling super inspired. Now, really, to get what you need in your business, you quite simply need to decide what you want. Now, that may sound like the most obvious thing. Well, I want more clients. Yes, but what clients? By when? You have to have some specifics. So decide what you actually want. Feel like you already have it. So how would you feel when you have 5 clients a week, 20 clients a week? What would you be feeling like? Would you be feeling like boss lady? Or would you be feeling super happy? Would you feel really grateful? Would you feel really abundant? What are those feelings? Because you need to get into that vibe of feeling like that now. Because if you're just, oh gosh, it's just a nightmare, I've got no clients, you're not going to get those clients. Like, you have to get into the vibe, get into the feeling of that now. It's a bit like with your riding. You want your horse to do a really nice dressage test or some schooling session or jumping, whatever you want them to do. You want them to be soft and connected. If you're expecting them to be tense and tight, that's what you're going to get. And we know that with horses. We know that inside out. We know if we're sitting there thinking, hope they don't spook. What happens? We leap sideways at speed. And it's the same with your business. You have to decide what you want. You have to feel like you have it, feel like it's going to happen, feel like it's working. And then you have to take some action. You have to focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. It's exactly the same with the horse. So if you're riding along going, oh, I'm having such a great ride. The horse is really listening. Can I get a little bit rounder? Can I get a little softer? Can I get it back on my aids? Can I get, them to just engage a bit more? Can I get that hind leg under? Can I get on my seat more? You're going to have a great ride. If you're sitting there going, don't let the dog jump up, don't let that dog at that next house jump up, and hacking down the road, don't let them spook, don't let them see the dustbin, whatever it is, that's exactly what they're going to do. So often we just focus it the wrong way around. So just flip it around. What is it you want? Focus on that. Feel like you have it. And then take some action. We all get those little nudges. We've got these little voices. But I think most of the time we just ignore it. So what little nudge have you heard this week? Today, maybe? Take some action on it. And then all you got to do is repeat that again and again and again. And that is a fundamental error that I feel where most people go wrong in business. They do one thing, try something, didn't work. Nothing necessarily works instantly, okay? And then they just give up. You have to just keep going. I have built my business, I've told you this so many times, from one course I set up on my phone, partly to amuse myself because I was really freaking miserable at that particular point. I wanted a helpful distraction. I thought this would be fun. And the reason I have built a really great business is because I've kept going. And if I'd got a bit of help soon, I probably would have gone in more of a straight line. I've done some side steps, I've taken the scenic route and a few things, but I've kept going. I've taken daily action, and it adds up. It really does. Now, when I say daily action, that does not mean I work 7 days a week. I do not advise or advocate that. It means I keep working on myself. I keep thinking about what I want. It's a day I'm not working. I'm just watched a 5-minute inspiring pick me up YouTube video. Like, I will have done something that moves me and my business forward. I do not work 7 days a week, nor do I want you to, but I do want you to keep connected to what it is you want. That doesn't mean think about business 24/7. Just needs to work on you. Just have an awareness of you and what you want, and keep marching forward. Keep it all moving forward. Okay. Simple as that then, guys. It really doesn't need to be difficult. Okay. Let's just recap expert method. So on page 18, the E is expand your why. And we'll talk about these in a minute, and I'll summarize them all in a second. But just if anyone wanted a recap, expand your why, X-ray mindset, pitch and position. I love to do that call. I've loved them all, but I've really enjoyed getting everybody to talk to each other about their business and getting all that, the ums, the ahs, the awkwardness out about, yeah, here I am. This is what I do, and this is how I help. And it was lovely, although I wasn't in each breakout room, of course, I didn't really hear the conversations. It was great to see people come back and go, oh yeah, actually that wasn't as bad. Why practice on your paying clients? Why practice on the people you want to be your clients? Practice on your horse, practice on, in situations like this. This is what my clients get to do in my mastermind. We practice on each other every Wednesday. We do live coaching, and we do role play sessions like this, because if you're like all umming and ahhing and struggling with objections, do on each other rather than people that are going to pay you money. So pitch and position was fab. E for ethos on money, mindset, money blocks. That was a fab session, digging into those. And as we said, what a mess we are in the horsey world, because whatever you've got, someone's got more. And if you're not careful, you can end up in a real pickle around that. You really, really can. And I think how I was describing, I had an amazing childhood, I really did. And how I was describing, feeling a bit like the sort of poor relation, although my parents were really, really quite well off. It's just they didn't choose to plough every single penny. And I can see why, into ponies when none of them have any interest in horses or ride themselves. And how it just, left me in a bit of a state of lack. So money, keep doing some work on your money mindset. You will honestly be so much further forward if you do. The R was reverse engineer your clients. Like, where are they? When you know who they are, you know how they think, you know what their problems are, it's not so hard to find them. That's when we were talking about working with vets and so forth. And then the T was time to sell. Okay, so that was just a recap. Turning the page then, page 19, let's go through like, let's just do a summary of the days. So on day one, I was talking about your ultimate purpose, your why. You know, so many people reach out to me and say, bit flat. I'm like, I've lost motivation. I think this is the perfect time of year to be talking about this. In this country, September, it was really warm still and sunny, and we were riding in our t-shirts going, this is great. No, it's freezing, and it hammered it down with rain all day yesterday, and I think we're all feeling a bit like, oh, it's winter. And this is when working with horses becomes harder. This is when motivation can really dip off. But if you are really connected to your purpose, to your, what I call the ultimate why, you can just find that motivation again and again and again. You really, really can. You know, I just feel so incredibly motivated all of the time when I just think what a difference what I do makes. Two sides of my business, central theme is help more horses. I love helping owners and I love helping practitioners. And when I think specifically about helping you guys, helping therapists, I see the difference in my clients and I see the difference just my free content makes. And you know, sometimes the messages I get, oh, I get like a lump in my throat all the time. You know, I had a message from a client last night. I almost had a little tear in my eye because she was just so delighted. We were talking high ticket offers yesterday. She has one. And so she's only just put it out there. And I know she was sick in her mouth at the thought of it. She was really, really scared, so far out of her comfort zone. I don't think she could even see her comfort zone anymore. And the first person has just bought one of them. And of course, she is on cloud nine. And it's just so incredible. I've got like goosebumps even just telling that story. So that, you know, these are some of my ultimate whys. You know, I've talked about my children. I've talked about that need for like freedom for myself. Those are some of my ultimate whys. So we did the exercise. If you didn't join us live on day one, please don't worry. If you've missed that replay, as I said, I wanted today to just summarize what we've been talking about. So if you can't watch every single video, don't panic. This is where we went through the 7 whys. Why? So what was your ultimate why? Stick it in the box. Does it still feel, you know, I know it's only Monday, but I feel like people are coming out of this retreat like totally different people. So does your ultimate why still fit? Does it still feel like it? If not, just go and redo the 7 whys because you'll soon find it quite easily. But everything in your business must be respectful, I think is the word I'm looking for, of the ultimate why. Because if your why is freedom and your business goal is to sell, I don't know, is to have 30 appointments booked up in a week. I mean, that would be quite full on, wouldn't it? And work 6 days a week, so you're going to do 5 horses, 6 days a week, week after week after week. Those don't go together. So know your ultimate why and then sense check what you want. Like, are you structuring your life and business for the ultimate why? Because if you're not, if there's some conflict, it's not going to work. You know, you'll stick with it for a bit. Passion and enthusiasm gets you a long way. But if there's a disconnect between what you truly want and how you're setting stuff up or how it's kind of unfolding, it won't happen. So be really mindful of that. And as I said, revisit if it's changing. Heart-centered goals. I was talking about making sure we've got goals that we feel in here, that feel right to us, not goals that we think other people want us to do. Like, I loved reading people's triggers in the group. One, I think it was Poppy who wrote this. It really stuck in my mind, actually, how she felt triggered when someone said, oh, fully booked, or is business busy, or something like that. Like the goal should be to be flat out working 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. or 6 till 8 or whatever crazy hours, you know, and it's easy to make that your goal to be like flat out. Like you're only successful if you're like near exhaustion. And I think that's a real issue in the horse world. It's like success is measured by the fact you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drove 10 horses, 5 hours to an event, jumped 15 classes, got placed in all of them, came home, and you've had like 2 hours sleep and you've driven all these miles. How is that like a good day? Like, I get there was, you know, competitive success and that must have been really enjoyable, but That is not how I want to live my life, not at all. So making sure all of our goals connect to the why and are for us, not for where we think we should be, not what we think other people want us to do. It's so easy to just get that a little tiny bit wrong. I've done it. I've done it many times. And then I think I told the story how I set a goal. I love a punchy goal. And then, and I do this in all aspects of life. I have done. I've reaffirmed that to myself. I used to do this and now I don't. And it could be fitness, it could be horsey stuff, it could be business. And then I get kind of like halfway through a quarter, 3/4, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I've made the progress I should have done. This is showing that the goal really wasn't for me. It was more what I thought I should be doing. And then I kind of talk myself out of it. And then I'll be like, I'll set a new goal, which will be kind of smaller, and I'll know that I can just do that in my sleep. But ultimately, I'm left feeling like I've let myself down. I'm left feeling like I'm a bit pissed off. So change that. Heart centered goals and ultimate why. That was day one. So it was all about expanding your why, your purpose, your motivation. Okay. Day two was mindset work. I love the mindset work. We were looking, there was so much we can talk about. Like I said, I could literally do a week just on mindset and it would not even touch the surface really. We were looking specifically at limiting beliefs. Like, we're so busy telling ourselves what we can't have. Well, people like me don't do that in my area. That's not going to happen. The whole rest of it, you know, I'm not one of them. All the rest of it, and we unearthed some incredible ones. We really did. I'm not good enough as a practitioner. People won't book me if I'm X, Y, or Z. So, what are 3 new beliefs that you now choose to have? Because we did a fab round of tapping on this, and it was all about getting out what we don't want. We were talking about time and that, you know, because as I said, that was my issue. So what is it we now want to believe? So have you got 3 new beliefs down? I've seen some great ones in the group, and I'd love you to just use this time and use this space in your workbook to either, you know, reaffirm those ones to yourself, or maybe you've thought, actually, there's something bigger and better I want to believe. So get those down and share one in the chat, guys. I'd love to hear what it is. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay and just stick it below, because I'd love to know. I really would. And to support that further, your new beliefs, think how you can find evidence, because you have this clever part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And that is the bit that if you said, I'm thinking about getting this car, or if someone was talking to you about a new type of horse rug or breeches or something, and it was really in your mind, you're like, oh, they sound amazing. All you'll see is those everywhere. You know, I think I was talking to my husband the other day, I was like, oh, should I get some brown boots? Everywhere I look, online, in person, magazines, the whole world's wearing brown boots. Has that really changed? Are more people seriously wearing brown riding boots than they were like a month ago? No, of course not. It's just that part of my brain, it's like Google search. It's like I've set up a search alert in my mind that's like brown boots. Guys, we're focused on brown boots. So everywhere I go, that's what I'm seeing. And that wasn't there a few weeks ago. So that's what that part of your brain does. So if you can get these beliefs in, find evidence. That's all our subconscious works all the time, is to prove us right. So find evidence of these new beliefs. So do tell me one of the new beliefs that you guys are choosing to have as part of your life. I'd love to hear it. I really would. Let me just look at the chat. Oh, being more direct to clients has been a game changer this week. Brilliant. I think so often, Romy, we are just like, we're too scared to say what we actually want to say or what we think. And being direct, I think, certainly in the UK, we associate directness with rudeness. And that's not true at all, because you can be direct in the nicest, friendliest way. You know, I could be like, so are you going to join this program? So are you going to join us live? Like, I'm just asking the question. I just want a yes or a no. That's not at all rude. And, you know, I think that is really important. Managing expectations is something I saw Hilary had posted in the group about as a question. And that is a great way to start doing that. Being direct, like what you expect them to do, what you will do, what you won't do is also really important. So that's a great takeaway. Well done. Drafting ideas to my website to be more transparent. I love that. Brilliant. Lane, I'd love to, like, what else do you want to have to increase your transparency? That's a great takeaway, great aim. Formulating a high ticket. Love it. I'm all for the high tickets. I really am. And I'm going to get Kaylin actually to, if I get, she's very busy, but I might get her to leave a little video if she could, or a little comment about her high ticket offer. That's the client I was just mentioning who was doing a happy dance last night. New beliefs. Okay, I can advocate for myself and my business. Yes, I love that. Start even if you don't know how. Yes, definitely. Now, I totally feel you, Lena, on the, but how? Like, I have been obsessed with hows forever. And I think the way to see it is you need to know where you want to go. You need to believe that you can get there. And you need to have some ideas, because if you're taking no action, you're not going to get anywhere. But I think we also need to surrender the idea that we need to have every single thing mapped out. Like, I'll give you the example. I always knew that I wanted to get married. I always knew I wanted to have 2 children. I did actually want 2 girls, which has ended up quite nicely. I knew I wanted to live Gloucestershire, Wiltshire. I live on the border of the 2 counties in the UK. And I always knew I wanted, ideally, the children to ride. I always knew I wanted to have like a really supportive, loving partner. Oh my goodness, I did not know how. I have to say, there was a point in my 20s I did start to give up, actually. This was ever going to happen. But I just knew that's what I wanted, but I had no idea how. And it presented in a really lovely way. And I have exactly what I always thought what I always wanted. But I had no idea exactly how. But I did take plenty of steps to make that happen. And I think that's the thing. You can't know the whole path, the whole journey. It would probably be quite boring if we had every single bit mapped out. A great analogy is driving. Like, you could drive, we could drive all across America. Actually, America's great, so it's not bigger than England. You could drive all across South Africa, maybe as well, and Janice. But if you're doing it at night, your headlights, obviously you can't see the whole way. Your headlights are only illuminating a couple of 100 meters, depending on how powerful they are, at a time. But you just have to go, okay, that's enough to get me to the next bit, and just have faith that you'll keep going. I think exactly the same for business. You need to be taking some kind of action, but you can't, no one knows every single step at all. So great takeaway. Want to work on building relationships and networking. Yes, relationships are so key, both with clients and with other people that potentially have your clients, like vets and trainers and other professionals. Love that. Brilliant. Okay. So we've got some new beliefs. Fantastic. Pitch and positioning. I just love this. How can you attract clients if you don't know who your clients are? We've talked so much at length about how trying to target everybody, trying to be like, anybody with a horse will pay me money is my dream client. I could get that, and it kind of sounds funny, but in marketing terms, it doesn't work. And in terms of, like, from clients wanting to feel wanted, I don't think that quite works either. So everybody now should feel really clear about who their clients actually are. So who you help and the results that you offer, because to describe what you do, to pitch, pitching might sound like a scary sales term, but if you wanted to work with another professional, if you wanted to go on a podcast, write a guest blog, write a magazine article, you need to be able to summarize what you do. And that's simply what a pitch is. I do this. And everyone should feel so much clearer. But when you're talking to a client, or trying to outline how you can help, just lead with the results. So I hope everybody feels much, much clearer about who they want to work with and the results that they can offer. Because, like I said to you the other day, that's all I want to know about working with somebody else. If it was a riding instructor, if it was a vet, if it was a practitioner. Are you nice? Like, I'm going to be nice to my pony, and is it going to work? Like, are you going to get results? And are you going to, like, just be kind and sort of love them, so I can give them a pat? Because I hate when people are kind of too clinical. That's why I love Kate Granshaw, one of the vets I work with, because she's so good at giving people, or giving horses, a pat and a cuddle and a polo whilst she is doing all the clinical stuff. And she's so professional. She's so lovely, but she's so human with them. And I love that. So that's what I would want. So are we clear on that? I hope so. This is your time to ask questions, guys. So stick them in the chat and let's get them answered. This is what I'm here for. And no longer think I have to market to fancy dressage riders. I love that. Brilliant. And there's nothing wrong with fancy dressage riders, but if that doesn't feel aligned, no. And you know what? You may find, Lauren, that in a relatively short space of time, you might want to work with fancy dressage riders, and they might be your thing, but do what feels like real. Because I think unless that's your thing, if that's your kind of your tribe, it can feel like a bit intimidating if you don't really know that circuit necessarily. I think you said, Lauren, did you say you kept your horse with some fancy dressage horses, or was your horse a fancy dressage horse? I can't remember the exact details, but if that's not really your exact niche and place, and if you don't feel aligned to it, then yeah, like I said before, my gang when I was a freelance riding instructor, and that's all I did day after day, was the real amateur rider, but amateurs that wanted to be better. Low grade. They spent a lot of time walk because I want them to get it right. But they were just delighted with the results that they got. Their horses looked and felt and moved so much better. And it was brilliant. So I think that they are an amazing niche to work with. I really, really do. Okay, day 4, we were talking money. So I think I've mentioned this with limiting beliefs. Finding proof is so important, because what you want to be doing is getting rid of old programming. So if you think of your brain as like a kind of path, or like a jumble of wires, all these pathways, all these neural pathways, we want to kind of pull a few out, and you're going to have a gap. So we want to put some new stuff in. So it's a bit of a tangled web around money. I agree. The best place you can start is to identify what's holding you back around money and dig deeper. On day 2, we were saying, when you feel a trigger, when something comes up, what is it actually telling you? So if you find, actually, Lauren, that's a great example, actually. If you find that maybe the fancy dressage market is making you feel a bit like uncomfortable, does that relate to money? Does that just relate to how you feel, like you feel a bit out of your depth, you feel like maybe you're not part of that kind of clique, that club? It's a great way of unearthing more information. So what is it around money that makes you feel off or uncomfortable? Is it you feel you can't charge a certain amount? Is it that you feel you can't literally ask for the money? And I have been there. I used to teach a lesson, and then I'll be like, they're going to pay me. Like, I need to get going. And you're sort of standing there, and then nothing's happening. And then you say, and obviously most people are like, oh yeah, here's your money, thanks, that's great. And I used to find it really awkward. And then I used to sometimes say, oh, do you want to just pay me next week? Which is a ridiculous thing to say. This is how much I needed to work on my money mindset. I just didn't know it like a long time ago. Because what I wanted to say is, please could you pay me so I can get cracking? And I just was like, I can't say that. And just all this programming around, like, you can't ask for the money, it's rude to talk about money. And all that's got to go. If you want to go forward in business, you and money need to be friends. You need to be fine to say, why shouldn't you? If you had bought something in a shop, beep, the cashier will say, that's £16.50 or whatever you'd bought, that's $100. They would you take the thing you want, they would tell you the price. So someone's taken the thing they want, i.e. your time and skills, you've worked on the horse. So why do we feel so awkward about going, right, great, that's whatever, insert the price? So money mindset, I think, is probably the biggest thing you can do to improve your business and grow, is work on this. It really is. So we need to get this old stuff out and we need to put some new stuff in. So what is it you now choose to believe around money? Is it that you're worthy of the money? Is it that you can charge what you're worth and what you want to charge? Is it that you can actually change your business and have more income flowing in without having to have more clients? Because you'll get to a point, all of you, where I call it the one horse ceiling, one horse model way, one horse in the car, one horse. There's going to be a point where you can't go any further with that. And obviously you're in a dangerous place, total exhaustion. And then you might think, I want to earn more money. I want to, I want more. What if you think I want twice this money that I'm earning at the moment? And then there's part of your brain's going, I'm gonna work twice this hard. So that's where we've been talking about the high ticket offers. You need to be able to see that there's more ways that money can flow to you. That's such limited thinking if you only believe you can only ever have 5 clients and they'll only pay you this. You'll only get what you believe you can have. So it's time to change it up. So tell me, guys, what are your new money beliefs? I would love, love, love to hear them. I really would. And so finding some proof. So if you believe you can't make money with horses, well, find some examples of people that are making money with horses. There are heaps of them. There really are. I've read some amazing bits in Horse and Hounds over the last year of people who have got incredible horsey businesses. They are busier and busier and busier. There really are so many ways you can make money with horses. It's just, certainly in this country, and I'm sure anytime you said, oh, guys, friends and family, this is what I'm going to do. Work with horses. People were like, you should get a proper job. Oh, you never make money doing that. Or do you know want to do that? So it's such an ingrained belief. It really is. So find some proof of your new belief. You can make money with horses, and look to people who have and are doing that. Follow them on social media. Get a bit of their vibe, their energy, and it will make a world of difference to you. It really will. So that was day 4. Any questions on money and money mindset, please, 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 guys, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to summarize the week today and answer your questions. So stick them in the chat. But there is so much work to do around money mindset. And I am so excited to have a session in the Kickstarter about this, because we got lots to do. We really, really have. And I've worked really long and hard on my own money mindset, and it has been really good. It's so liberating when you can just be like, yeah, this is the price, and you're not like, and it doesn't even matter sometimes what the price is. We all just have a ceiling of what we feel comfortable with, and if you feel comfortable with, I don't know, £40 a session, and you kind of know you should be charging and want to charge 50, but you're like, it almost doesn't matter what the number is. It's just when we've reached our sort of upper limit, we're going to struggle. And what I want you to be doing is lifting that ceiling, pushing that upper limit. I talked about how you can feel rich without spending money, and I so advise everyone to do that. Like I talked about, stop keeping stuff the best. The best earrings, the best pants, the best soap, the best whatever. Get it out now. Get it out today and use some of this stuff, because what would you feel like if you had the money that you actually wanted? You'd probably, I'm just going to guess slightly, feel like you could have whatever you wanted. You could buy better stuff. And I'm not saying everyone needs loads of stuff, but we do all need some basic things in life. Food, clothes, toilet roll is a great example. So if you had unlimited resources, it's not to say that you necessarily need loads more material possessions, but what you did buy, you would buy the better quality. You'd buy the best you could probably have if you had absolutely no restraints on money. So why didn't you start getting into those feelings? Just upgrade everything. Next time you're shopping, get the better toilet roll, get the better coffee, chocolate, tea, whatever. And just look around your house today and find all those things that you've never given yourself permission to actually use. I can think of something that we've got in our house. I was sent this amazing hamper earlier in the year, and it came with these biscuits in this really fancy tin. I'm not a big biscuit eater. I really try not to eat too much sugar, if any sugar at all. and they're still sitting there. What am I saving them for? Either I don't want them, probably actually just give them to somebody that would want them, or I'm saving them for some unknown occasion. And you know, we all do this. And in fact, I'm really cross to realise that I've done it too, because I've got so good at not doing this. But so, you know, we can all be caught out. So stop saving stuff for best. Give us a permission. You're good enough now. Today is a good enough day to wear the pretty top, whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying mucking out in, you know, in going out clothes, but you know, come on, guys. We can up our game. We can expand. We can scale up how we treat ourselves. And I think horsey people are rubbish at treating themselves with any kind of kindness and compassion. I really do. So much to say about money. Please do ask any questions that I can help you with on that. Okay, day 5 was, where are your clients? Now we know who, it should be easy to find where they are. Slight typo, sorry, in the workbook. It should really say 3 places your clients are, stroke who already has those. I always seem to combine it into one sentence that doesn't quite make total sense, so apologies, but that's what we're asking. Where are your clients? Like, where could you find them in person, stroke online? You know, feel free to list more than 3. And who already has your audience? So it might be vets, it might be riding clubs, it might be the local dressage trainer. It might be, so I was at Pony Club yesterday, it might be the Pony Club DC, the Pony Club boss lady, who has the exact contacts that you need. It's just networking, like we're all connected. But when you know who you want as clients, this is easy to work backwards. We talk quite a lot about working with vets, and you heard from Claire and Fiona about how working with vets has been really, really influential and beneficial in their businesses. And the same is available to you guys too. It is simply working out who are the right vets that you need and building a relationship. You know, it's not a one email fixes everything. Some vets, it might be faster, some it might be slower. Like Fiona talked about how she'd worked on the vet's own horse, and that made a big difference. And Kate, one of the lovely vets I work with, she's always advocating that practitioners showcase their skills, offer to hold a demo at the practice, offer to spend the day out with the vet if that's possible. I appreciate COVID's made things like that a little bit harder. Offer to treat their horse like Fiona did. Say, I don't know, 3 of your clients to come to the yard of the vet, and I'll do the treatment. You can just come and see what I'm doing. Refer back to the vet. You know, they've got a horse coming in, which is a horse that you already work on. Do more than put your hand up, like get in touch. Outline what you'd like to do for their rehab. Outline your ideas. Be in there. Like, you can't be expecting vets to come knocking on your door. They're too busy. They are too busy working such crazy hours on call, driving around to ponies stuck in ditches and colicking horses and lameness workups and teeth and vaccinations and dealing with owners. They want to work with you, but you're low on their list of priorities. That's not personal. They've got emergencies to go to, and you get bumped off the list. But you've just got to know who you need to work with, who is the right vet, and keep going. Like Claire was talking about, how once you've built that relationship, which does take time, no one's saying that's an overnight success, how easy it then is to maintain. You know, how she can just ping a video over, ping a message over, and they're just working together, which is what everyone should be aiming for, because that is for the good of the horse. It really is. You know, Kate talks, one of my vets, about how practitioners are doing themselves a disservice sometimes when, like, for example, if you go and see a horse, I don't know, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, whatever, even 6 times a year, and you're always like unblocking, undoing the same tight spots. Well, it doesn't take a genius to suppose that there's something deeper going on, because why I don't know, why are they always tight over that shoulder, or why are they always tighten that place in their neck or over a particular side of their hindquarters? There's something else going on if it's the same thing in the same place. You know, maybe it's an underlying lameness issue, maybe it's a saddle issue, but it needs looking at with another professional from another sort of direction, if you like. And that's something that vets get really frustrated about, when you guys are seeing horses more frequently than vets in many, many times. You need to be working with the vets to help the horse. And like I mentioned before, sometimes you and the vet might need a bit of pincer movement to get the client to take the right action. So many people have your clients, they've neatly organized them for you. Your clients are out there. You just need to go find them. Any questions on day 5, please shout. Oh, what's a new money belief? Let me look in the chat. You have to spend money to make money. Yeah, I am investing in my business with the goal for it to grow. I love that. I think that's great. Yeah, investing is so, so important, and it can feel terrifying. It really can, but it's really important. When you invest, you are saying, me and my business are good enough. Me and my business are going somewhere. I'm taking my business seriously. This is a business, not a hobby with a website. And I think so many people are trying to run their business, but not as a business. You know, they're sort of playing shops, I guess, is the best expression. And you need to take it seriously. Like, you need to have your CEO hat on, even if you only have one client. Doesn't matter. You have to approach it as a business. You know, you have to just be not treating it as like, oh yeah, sort of hope I can maybe get a couple of clients. You know, take some action, and investing is a really great first step. It is. Okay, day 6, time to sell. So I love running that session yesterday. I covered loads, but I was really looking at, I think the main areas of weakness for most practitioners is not asking for the sale and the customer journey not being clearly mapped out. So is that something that anybody worked on yesterday? I know we only did the session a few hours ago. I guess we did that later in the evening. You haven't even had 24 hours to do your homework. But do go through, how does an inquiry turn into a solid 8-week, 8 weeks, every 8 weeks booking, for example? How does that happen? Because if you're honest, there'll be leaks. There isn't a clearly mapped out process for most people, and people fall by the wayside. And it's, you need to have some way of keeping track of who these people are and some way of looking after them. And it's easy to just go, oh, well, I'll just do my Facebook Messenger, like in your business page. I thought that, and then I couldn't find them again. It's really annoying. And you can do clever things like tag people and stuff. So it's like, I've tagged them, like for the course they were interested in, and then they just, I don't know, they just Facebook changed, they couldn't find them. And I was like, guess I need an email list now. And that was a bit of a wake-up call for me. So look at your customer journey, really go back to your website and to your, say, last couple of weeks of social. Do you ever ask for the sale? Like, are you having any like directness? Romy, you were saying that was your biggest takeaway. Is there some actual calls to action? If you want to book a session, you need to do this. And don't confuse people, because it's easy to do that. If you're saying, you can call me, text me, WhatsApp me, blah, 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 blah. I'll be like, I'm so confused and overwhelmed. I don't want to do anything. I don't know which one I'm meant to do. Just make it really, really clear how they work with you. I was looking at some coaching yesterday, and I find contact forms a little bit annoying, if I'm going to be honest. And it was just like, you can do this, or you can do this. And I was like, well, what do I do? So just make it easy for people. Step it out. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's great, Lena. Answer the questions that they don't even know that they've got. Like, there's something keeping people on the fence. So get those sessions answered. I love that. Things to expect, things you need. Yes. And like, this really leads back again to managing people's expectations. It's your job to spell out very clearly what you expect. Like, to me, okay, I'm an education owner, but forget I know what I know about working with practitioners. I just think you need the horse. Like, you're not going to ride the horse. You haven't said you're going to see the horse ridden. So I'd be like, well, it doesn't matter if the horse is muddy and wet. Like, it's winter. I've just pulled in from the field. Here you go. Here's the horse. I'd be like, I wouldn't see what the problem was, as many owners. Whereas you're like, oh, the horse is wet and muddy. This is so annoying. But like, how are they meant to know? Doesn't matter how obvious it seems to you, you do need to spell things out. And that's a great step. It really is. Yeah. And have you told them, Romy, that the horse needs to be in, ready, clean, and waiting. Otherwise, you can't do the full session. If you're having to wait for them to collect the horse, then their session is going to run shorter. Yes, of course, you can have a degree of flexibility, because we've all got those lovely clients who they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I've just had a nightmare day. Yeah, we can all have a little bit of give, but you have to tell people what you are expecting from them, because so many people, and I used to see this, they would wait for you. So I'm just arrived as a riding instructor. I'm like, right, chop, chop. And I'll be like, oh, great, I'll tack up now you're here. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then you're watching them. And then I'll be like, shall I just help? Meaning, shall I just do it 10 times faster? They're getting the num nut back. Saddle. Oh, I forgot the boots. And you're like, oh, I'm now going to be late the rest of my day. I should have managed their expectations better. I really should have done. What are your expectations around cancellations? If I call you and say, oh, so I'm going to have to cancel, do you ask me why? Because the reasons that I might be cancelling are something that you could actually help with. And I find that people quite often have a cancellation charge and never enforce it. So if I said, I'm so sorry, I can't make Tuesday at 3 now. If you actually said why, like what's the problem, I'd probably say, I haven't got any childcare, or I can't get there, or I've now got to do the school run. It might well be, if it works, it might well be possible for you to say, don't worry, can you get the horse left in? Can you leave the horse in with some hay? And if you know the horse and the settlement, that's safe and the right thing to do, I can still go and treat the horse, and I'll just pop you a message with what I find afterwards. Like that, if you don't ask, how can you try and be the solution giver? So with cancellations, again, it's managing expectations. What do you do if you get there? What do you do if they are so late that that's like half the session gone? Do you charge them the full price? Do you overrun? Like, get this clear and tell people. Have it on your website. You don't need to spell all this out for every single person, but I think you do need to have this information in existence. And then if you have people that are looking like a bit of a slippery eel, you can signpost them to this stuff. What happens if you get there and the horse is so uncomfortable you can't work on it? Do they still pay? Do they pay half? What do you do? Have all this worked out and be communicating this to people, what you will and won't tolerate and accept. Managing people's expectations is definitely not saying, oh yeah, one session he'll definitely be fixed. It's not about over promising, but it's just about setting some boundaries, which you guys generally are quite rubbish at. And I say that with love and kindness, but that's what I see. Because otherwise, why would you be replying to people's messages at 11 p.m. or something? Set your hours. You might well be working in the evening, but is that a time that you respond to people? Or is that a time that you're choosing to work? Because I see that very differently. If you're choosing to write some reports or do something at 8 o'clock in the evening, great. That doesn't mean that people should automatically get a response if those aren't hours you choose to be available in. Because if you respond to somebody at 9 o'clock at night one time, they'll think you'll always do that. They'll think you're just around then. I'm working with an international client base. There's always a time lag between messages. Like we have, for most of my clients, we have kind of core hours where we're all awake and working at the same time. And then everyone's got to wait. I've got to wait for their response and they've got to wait for me, because we're just like, some of us are in bed and other people are working. It's just how it is. And, if you're in the same country, in the same time zone, why should people get an instant response? It's down to you to manage people's expectations. How quickly do you answer emails? I don't answer them instantly at all. So to just have an awareness for yourself and then start to communicate that. Give too much, Janice. That's a great comment. So why don't you keep giving lots, but package it as the ultimate, the platinum, the VIP, whatever you want to call it, and give those people too much, but they pay more. So it's not too much. It's fair swap. Yeah, because people don't value, they don't even realize what you're giving them. They don't value it. So why carry on doing it for free? Because you could help people on a deeper level who want that help and are willing to pay for it. You really could. And if you, I don't know, just say you've got 50 clients and you help 3 or 2 on a much more intensive level, just think of all that energy you'd be clawing back rather than giving 50 people a bit more than they really needed or noticed that they had, and save it for the people that are willing to pay for it. That's what you should definitely do, in my opinion, is, you know, you can give loads, but there's a price. It's like getting the best seats in the house, isn't it? So customer journey, it's leaky, managing expectations, we're not always strong enough, boundaries definitely need reinforcing. Follow up. Lots of people are like, yeah, I follow up once. You need to be following up more than once. You really do. You need that list of existing clients to be keeping in touch with and, you know, booking in the next sessions. You need the lapsed clients, because there's always those one-hit wonders. They just fall off the wayside. And then there's they didn't quite make it as a client. You know, and we said, what happens if they're ignoring your messages? I do sometimes ignore. I don't mean to. I read the preview and I don't always respond. It has, some things gone in, but I just haven't taken any more action. Be direct. You know, it's fine to say, if you've messaged someone 3 or 4 times and they haven't opened it or read it, why don't you say, hey, just checking in. I'm just wanted to see if you're still interested in me working on your horse. Would you still like me to keep in touch about when I can come and see your horse next? You know, whatever seems the right question to ask. Could you let me know with a yes or no? You will get some no's. And when you get those no's, you can just go, ah, great, because that is making space for the yeses to come in. You need to hear the no's first. You need to get the no's out. And when somebody like that says no, they're not currently paying you any money. You've not lost out in any way. You can breathe a sigh of relief. You can go, I release you, off you go. You don't want me, but I don't take that personally. I'm not what you need right now. You're not the place to have my help. Let's make space for somebody that is. Because there's only so many people you can help. There's only so much mental bandwidth and energy you have to give. So let the right people in. Get rid of the dead wood. Like do some pruning. So I'd love you guys to do that. Romy, I think a big great exercise for you. You know, you were saying like, oh, people don't reply. Ask them and be ready for no's. You want the no's because then you know who is actually a yes. Because you'll get some yeses. You'll get some people go, oh yes, so sorry. Oh my goodness, I've been meaning to respond to you for weeks, months, years. So sorry. But, and then they'll give you a million reasons why they haven't. They'll send you a message like this long, and but you know that they're still interested. It's just sometimes life can just be so hectic for some people. They just haven't got that mental space to take that next step. It's not because they think you're rubbish. It's not that they don't value it. It's just they just can't wrap their head around one more thing. And you're doing yourself and your clients and horses a disservice if you totally give up. Get the no's, make space for the yeses. So customer journey, follow up, asking for the sale. Those, for me, were the really clear areas people needed to improve on. So scribble down any more spaces that you want to improve in your sales abilities and journeys. Okay. So a final bits I wanted to say, guys, was please continue to use the Facebook group, because I've got some more stuff coming over the couple of months. There'll be some other bits and pieces going on. There'll be another retreat before Christmas. There'll be probably a webinar in December time. So use this Facebook group that we've set up for the September retreat, because that's where you'll find stuff. Please ask away any questions. We've got 5 minutes left. I'd love to hear questions. Hillary, hopefully that has answered what you wanted to know about managing expectations. It's not about over-promising. It's about the opposite, actually. It's about over-delivering and slightly under-promising. And it's just being clear on what you do want, what you don't want, what you will accept and won't accept, and telling people, communicating when you answer messages, how quickly people can come back to you. Can they have ongoing WhatsApp access, for example? Because some people will continue to ask you questions and be basically getting free advice from you. If that's what you want to do, great. But just be transparent about that, because it's not fair if one person's getting it and one person isn't, it's either a service or it isn't. And if it is going to be a service, well, why don't you make that a paid service and have that? Either the price goes up and that's included, or the price goes up for some, that's included for some. It's entirely up to you, but there's so many ways around it. There really is. Like, you can have whatever you want. You can have anything you want from your business. You just have to decide it, believe it, and take some action. You really, really do. Having support, having a plan, having a roadmap, having accountability are the fastest ways to help yourself get there. This is why I've put together the Kickstarter, because I want something that is really doable, really affordable, lower investment point than my mastermind, and will make a difference. You know, I've run the Expert Academy several times before. It really does make a massive difference. Don't forget, the price goes up tomorrow. That's Monday the 4th. You're on the replay at 8 p.m. So if you are thinking about joining, at the moment, you can get in for paying for £999, or you can pay £333 times three installments, or you can join us for £99 a month for 12 months. It is so doable, guys. That's around 2 treatments a month if you're paying monthly to regain your investment back. So much help, so much support, and the accountability is what makes a difference. You know, you're going to take action after this week. I know that, but at some point you'll get stuck. It will feel hard. It will just drop off your priority list. And when you don't have that ongoing support, stroke kick up the backside in a nice way, you're not going to get the results. And that is why I put this Kickstarter together for everybody. So I know it's not for everybody, but it could be for so many people. It really can. I wanted it to be a Kickstarter. I want it to be doable, affordable, and what you guys need. What I feel that is a big gap for people that are new in business, or people that just got a bit stuck and need a bit more support. So the Kickstarter's here, starting on the 12th of October for 8 weeks of live training. We have 1 implementation week, so it's running across 9 weeks. But think what a place you'll be in by Christmas. Like, look at the takeaways in 7 weeks, 7 days that we've just had. It's been incredible. Imagine if you had that energy going for 2 months. You'll be in a totally different place. And I can't wait to help everybody who's already jumped in. But if you're a bit on the fence, umming and ahhing about it, grab a call. Like, I'm here to help. I really am. If I don't think it's the right thing for you, I will tell you. I've already told a couple of people that that's not the right program for them. They're much better suited to my mastermind. My ethos is not to get people into the wrong programs. It's to help them. And if I don't think I can help you, I would 100% tell you, because I want happy, committed customers and clients who are doing the work and making a difference. I do not want the wrong people. But if you're ready to crack on, I've just put the link in the chat to the Expert Academy. You can read all the details and get yourself booked on, because as I said, it is such a cool program and I can't wait to get started and help everybody. So guys, just to wrap up, are there any other questions that I can answer for this retreat? Do let me know, those of you joining us live. If you're on the replay, no problem. Post your questions below this video when it goes live later, and I will get those answered for you. Meanwhile, I'll share in the group the link for the calls if anybody does want to chat, have a consult call about the program. Lena, my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. I think you've joined every single session live. What a star. It's been absolutely lovely having you here, and I'm so delighted you're in the Kickstarter as well. So looking forward to working with you for 9 weeks. That's so exciting. It really is. And massive thanks to everybody giving up hours of their time this week, doing the homework. As I said, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, getting out of their comfort zone. It's so important. It really is, because that's not where the magic's happening. Oh, Lauren, a pleasure. I've loved this week. It's been so much fun. Romy, my absolute pleasure. I cannot, I'm getting goosebumps again. I can't tell you how much I love helping everybody. I really do. I get such a buzz out of it. And yeah, just can't wait to help more people. So, so glad you've all had fun. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. I'm off to a noisy kids party because I said I'd help my friends with it. So yeah, wish me luck. I think there's 15 very excited 6-year-olds running around screaming. And I'll be back in the group later on today to answer any further questions. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. Take care, and thank you so much for joining us today. Goodbye.